Hey everyone, it's Gloria. Thanks for joining me again for this episode of Friday Fun. Today I wanted to share with you some cards for Mother's Day and thank you cards that I made. I used this Margot Classic K paper pad from K & Company, and I am glad to say that there's just a few scraps left, and there's like two 12 by 12 pages left in this pack, so it is like super thin. Look at that. I'm so excited. I love it, but I'm glad to see my projects getting done. So I'm glad to see projects being done as opposed to the stack just being there on my shelf. So anyways, so today's cards, at least the Mother's Day ones, the first three I made using Mojo Monday sketches from March, and because that's how I'm behind. So I think maybe what I'll do in the future is I'll maybe do them all towards the end of the month. I'll post all my cards for Mojo Monday. Maybe that's what I'll do. I don't know. Anyway, for now, this one is from 3 weeks ago. That's the sketch, and this is the card I came up with. It is this Mother's Day card, and what I did was I used some mauve textured cardstock as my base, and then adhered this ivory cardstock where I matted the paper from the collection on top of that, and then some other paper from the collection, and then some more ivory cardstock on top. I stamped this Happy Mother's Day using this stamp from Impression Obsession. I've never heard of them, and it's been years since I purchased a wooden stamp. Anyway, so I don't know where I got that, but I stamped this in Jet Black StazOn ink, and I love how crisp that is, the image. And then pulled out some Primas, and this bottom one is Glimmer Misted with bronze. So it's got that cute little shimmer, and then added this other one on top. And then from this paper, I cut a little leaf, just added that. And then inserted some bling in the center and added two little tiny ones on the top there. And I used a punch that I have that cuts the paper like that, the corners on kind of an angle, so it looks like a tag. So I used that. And then the ribbon here, I had 3 strands of ribbon here. I just tied them in a knot on both ends and had this little charm hanging from it. Thought that was cute and just adhered it that way. And then the inside did, again, the ivory cardstock and then some pattern paper from the collection at the bottom. So that is sketch number 1. Okay, the next sketch is this one here, and I really liked this one. This was an easy sketch to follow. I think all of them are easy, but I don't know, this one kind of stood out to me and I really liked it. So you might see some more cards from me using that. So this is the card I came up with. I used some double-sided paper from my stash for the card base, and the card, the first one and this one both measure about 5 by 7, so they're larger cards, and this one's really heavier, I guess, because it's got a lot of paper on it, lots of layers. So I added this ivory cardstock and then matted the 2 design papers on there, and everything is distressed in Vintage Photo. And then leftover paper from the card base I used to mat this ivory cardstock that has my sentiment on there. And I actually embossed that in cocoa. And then the happy comes from this stamp set here, the Easter one I did, and it's from the Easter time. Okay, I love the script on that. I like how that looks. So I used that for the happy, and then for the Mother's Day, I used that for my, there it is right there, for my Say It in Style stamp set, which is, as you know, my kind of go-to stamp set when I'm making cards. So yeah, and then I pulled out some more Primas and added that, and then layered this Recollections flower in the brown, and then added these opaques. They're called opaques from C2MH. This is in the licorice tones, and it's got the silver, the light blue, and then the black, and so I used the light blue on the center, and then 2 tinier ones in the center of those. And then I used a Fiskars border punch for that, piece of paper there. Then the inside, I added some of the paper from the collection and added some more design paper on the left here, and then matted this ivory cardstock on the right. And everything again is inked in Vintage Photo. And I liked it because even though this is double-sided, the paper is 2 different colors. This blue matches with the paper, so I think it just went well together. Okay, so that's the second sketch. And then the last sketch from this week, the 26th, is this one here. And I used just a regular card base from Michaels in the ivory. And I used the mauve cardstock, the textured cardstock from the first card. I used some of the leftover as my card front on this one. And then added 3 strips of paper from the collection. And these are about 1.5 inch wide. So how I get them to fit. And then another piece of design paper I adhered as the center and matted some ivory cardstock on top of that, where I stamped the thanks, and that comes from this Ditto stamp that I just purchased from Michaels last weekend for about $1, I think it was. And I stamped that in desert sand, and then adhered these 2 gems on there that match. And then as I was looking for some trim or ribbon to adhere on this, I came across this, and I don't know why I haven't used it, probably because I want to hoard it, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. And I got it from a rack from, I think it was from Martha, so it's absolutely gorgeous. And the good news is I found it, adhered just a piece of it here obviously, and I still have some left over of this color, and then I found it in like 2 other colors in my stash, so I'm super excited about that. It's good to kind of look through your things every now and then. Okay, and then the inside I used this the same cardstock, and then added a strip of this pattern paper from this design. And I don't think this is too dark where you can't, you know, see any of the ink color on it if I was to write my message. So I just left it as is. So that's that for this this sketch. Okay, the next 2 are thank you cards, and this one is absolutely my favorite. Why, you ask? Because there's a dress form on it, of course, and you know how happy I've been using that lately. It's got me on this little dress form kick. Okay, so I used some of the light green paper that has this kind of ivory floral pattern on it. It's actually got some musical stuff, pattern on the bottom. Super cute. And I used some craft cardstock. This is the craft cardstock base from Michaels. And so let's see, what did I do? Okay, so I had this ivory cardstock, which I matted this paper from the collection on top, and everything again distressed in Vintage Photo. And then adhered my little dress form, and this is also from that same rack that I got that other trim from Martha. Super cute. So I inked everything in here with Vintage Photo, including the dress form, and then cut this little triangle of lace as her dress. It looks like the skirt, but it doesn't have to go all the way around. It's just a little triangle. And then I added this ribbon on here, this soft green ribbon, and as I trimmed the edges, the ends of the knot here, I used one of the ends as her little belt on her dress. And then her little shirt thing is using some of this paper as well. And then I cut a little V-neck on her, and then added some pearls as her necklace. Super cute. And then added pearls on all 4 corners as well. And then I had a doily, this gold doily, in half, and adhered that, and then stamped this image here in cocoa on that same ivory cardstock. And this stamp comes from this Teresa Collins Chic Baby Girl stamp set. And then I went over it with my Vintage Photo and kind of distressed it that way. It's a little more yellow than I wanted it to be, but I'm okay with that. And then added this Wild Orchid Crafts carnation and inked the edges of that with Vintage Photo as well. And then did my little curly Q, and then 2 Recollections flowers on the sides there. Super cute. And then the inside, there's some paper from the collection, and 2 different design papers that are, again, distressed with Vintage Photo. So, super cute. This is my favorite one by far. Okay. And then last but not least, my second thank you card is this one here. And I used a taupe colored card base for this, and used the pattern paper on here, and then added this eyelet lace that I had left over from my tags that I did for Velma Swap earlier this week, and I added that on there, and then added this paper from the card from the collection. Again, everything's inked with Vintage Photo. And before I adhered this piece of cardstock or paper, I tied my seam binding around it first, and then tied my little bow there, and added this cute little flower, which has the colors of the seam binding in it. And I don't know, it was just in my stash. I don't know who makes it. And then I did use my Fiskars oval cutter and cut these 2 ovals in one size smaller than the other. And then on this ivory one, I stamped in bamboo. I stamped these 2 little floral things, and they're actually just from this Studio G stamp. And it's just this piece here, and I don't even have the original packaging. I don't even know. It's just in my stash. It's old. Anyway, and then I stamped this thank you in Vintage Photo, and it comes from my Stampin' Up! Set here, rubber stamps. So it comes in this one. And then I used some of those little pearls under the O and the U there, and then put 2 more up here because the bottom I rounded. Okay, and then the inside I added more of that paper, and then did a large oval in here that I distressed in Vintage Photo, and that'll be for my message. So there you have it. There are my cards, my projects for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to just give you a little heads up and let you know that I will be on spring break next week, and I am not sure as of today whether or not we are going out of town or not. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. If you don't see a video from me next week, don't panic. I will be back. I'm just going to be out of town, and if I'm here and I don't go out of town, then you'll see a video from me next Friday. So thank you so much again for watching, you guys. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.